Thousands of years ago, there was no internet and no airplanes. But people still wanted to trade goods from distant lands. The most famous trade route in history was the Silk Road. It was not just one road, but a giant network of paths that connected China to Europe and the Mediterranean Sea. The Silk Road started about 2,000 years ago during the Han Dynasty in China. It was called the Silk Road because silk was the most valuable thing China had. At that time, only the Chinese knew how to make silk from silkworms. People in Rome and other places loved silk because it was soft, beautiful, and very expensive. But silk was not the only thing on the road. Merchants traded spices, tea, porcelain, and gold. They used camels to carry their goods across long deserts and high mountains. Traveling was very dangerous. There were thieves, sandstorms, and very little water. Most merchants only traveled a small part of the road and then sold their goods to another merchant. The Silk Road was also important for sharing ideas. When people met at markets, they talked about their religions, their music, and their inventions. For example, the Chinese invention of paper traveled to the West along the Silk Road. This helped people all over the world to share information. The most famous traveler on the Silk Road was Marco Polo. He was an Italian merchant who traveled all the way to China in the 1200s. He stayed there for many years and wrote a book about his adventures. His stories about the riches of the East inspired many other explorers to travel. Today, we use the term New Silk Road to talk about modern trade between Asia and Europe using trains and ships. The ancient Silk Road shows us that humans have always wanted to connect with each other, no matter how far the distance. Reading comprehension questions. True or false, the Silk Road was a single, straight road from China to Rome. True or false, silk was the only product traded on this network. True or false, Marco Polo was an Italian explorer who wrote about his journey to China.